My dear brothers and sisters, today I want to talk about a fitna, a trial that has become one of the most powerful forces shaping our world. It is the fitna of celebrity culture, the obsession with influencers, and the way people today measure worth and success. We live in a time where fame is worshipped, where the number of followers has become the new measure of value, and where so many hearts are being pulled away from Allah by the desire to be seen, liked, and praised. There was a time when people sought honor in service, when people looked up to those who were generous, who were truthful, who were wise, who were connected to their Lord. Today, we live in a world where the most followed people are not those who serve humanity, but those who entertain, those who flaunt wealth, those who post the most outrageous or eye-catching content. Our children, our youth, and even adults are being taught to dream not of being righteous, not of being beneficial, but of being famous. The question is no longer, how can I serve my Lord? But, how many people will watch me? How many will clap for me? Brothers and sisters, there is a dangerous disease in this. When recognition becomes the goal, sincerity dies. When fame becomes the dream, humility disappears. And when the pursuit of followers overtakes the pursuit of Allah's pleasure, then hearts are enslaved not to the Creator, but to the crowd. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, warned us about people who would sell their faith for the applause of others, who would exchange sincerity for reputation, and today we see exactly that. People compromise their modesty for views, they compromise their honesty for likes, they compromise their deen for popularity. The influencer culture is built on constant comparison. When you scroll, you see a world where everyone seems richer, happier, more beautiful, more successful. And in your heart, the whispers begin, why am I not like them? Why don't I have what they have? Why is my life not as glamorous? You begin to feel ungrateful for your blessings, blind to what you already have. Instead of gratitude, you feel envy. Instead of humility, you feel arrogance. Instead of focus on your purpose, you drown in distractions. This is why it is called a fitna, because it doesn't just waste your time. It reshapes your heart. It makes you restless. It makes you chase validation from people who don't even know you, and it makes you forget that the only validation that truly matters is from Allah. Brothers and sisters, imagine standing before Allah on the day of judgment when the truth is exposed. On that day, the number of your followers will mean nothing. The blue check marks, the millions of views, the trending videos, they will all vanish like dust. What will matter then is not how many people clapped for you, but how many deeds you did sincerely for your Lord. The sad reality is that many influencers are themselves trapped in misery. They build a life online that looks perfect, but behind the screen, they are often lonely, anxious, empty. The same people we envy are often crying in silence because they built their worth on people's approval, and people's approval is fickle. One day they raise you, the next day they cancel you. One day you are trending, the next day you are forgotten. That is the fragility of fame. It never lasts. Compare that to the legacy of sincerity. The people who remembered Allah sincerely, the people who served with humility, the people who gave without seeking recognition. These are the people whose names are honored centuries later. They did not have cameras, they did not have platforms, they did not chase likes. But because they sought only Allah's acceptance, Allah preserved their honor in this world and the next. So, what does Islam teach us in the face of this fitna? It teaches us to guard our intentions fiercely. Ask yourself every time you post, every time you share, am I doing this to please Allah or to please the crowd? Am I serving or am I showing off? Am I sharing something that benefits or am I just craving attention? If the answer is the crowd, then stop, because crowds are temporary but Allah is eternal. Islam teaches us to be people of substance, not people of image. This culture thrives on appearances, filters, poses, edits, but Islam calls us back to reality. Allah does not look at your filters, your angles, your likes, your numbers. He looks at your heart and your deeds. The world may applaud the image, but Allah rewards the sincerity, and Islam also teaches us to protect our hearts from envy. Do not be fooled by what you see on the screen. A glamorous picture is not proof of a happy soul. Do not compare your behind the scene's life to someone else's highlight reel. Instead, remind yourself of your blessings, count them, thank Allah for them. Gratitude closes the door that envy tries to open. My dear brothers and sisters, we need to reframe the way we think about influence. Influence is not about how many people know your name. It is about how many people are guided by your example. Influence is not measured by followers, but by the goodness you leave behind. A mother raising righteous children has more true influence than a celebrity with millions of strangers watching. A teacher who plants seeds of faith in a student's heart has more real impact than a star with the biggest stage. A believer who quietly helps a neighbor, who gives charity, who makes dua for others. This person has influence in ways that are unseen but priceless in the sight of Allah. So let us not fall into the trap of chasing celebrity. Let us not measure ourselves by likes, followers, or fame. Let us measure ourselves by sincerity, by service, by how close our hearts are to Allah. Because the only stage that matters is the day of judgment. The only audience that matters is Allah, and the only approval that matters is His. Brothers and sisters, our youth especially are drowning in this culture. They are being taught to dream of fame instead of faith, applause instead of sincerity. We need to be the ones who remind them that there is more to life than a screen, more to success than popularity, more to value than numbers. We need to live that reminder ourselves, by being authentic, by being grateful, by being grounded. We need to show them that true peace does not come from being seen, but from being sincere. So I ask you today, when you feel the urge to chase attention, stop and ask yourself, what do I want more, the fleeting praise of people or the eternal pleasure of Allah? When you feel the sting of envy scrolling through someone's glamorous life, stop and ask yourself, what blessings of mine am I ignoring? When you are tempted to compromise your values for views, stop and ask yourself, is a moment of fame worth losing the mercy of my Lord? Remember, this life is short, the trends are temporary, and fame is fragile. But sincerity is timeless, faith is eternal, and Allah's reward is forever. May Allah protect us from the fitna of celebrity culture. May He purify our intentions. May He guide our youth to seek His pleasure over people's applause. And may He make us people of sincerity, humility, and true influence in this world and the next. One of the most dangerous illusions of our time is this obsession with fame, this desperate hunger to be noticed, to be recognized, to be admired. We live in a culture where people dream not of being righteous, not of being sincere servants of Allah, but of being famous, of being followed, of being seen. They imagine that if enough people know their name, if enough people clap for them, if enough people click a button that says like, then they will finally feel whole, finally feel valued, finally feel at peace. But the reality is far from that. Fame looks glamorous from a distance, but when you get close to it, you realize it is fragile, it is fleeting, and it can never fill the emptiness of the heart. Think about it. Today someone trends because of a viral video. Tomorrow they are mocked. The next day they are forgotten. One day people celebrate you. The next day they destroy you. One day your face is everywhere. The next day no one remembers your name. Fame is like smoke. It rises quickly. It fills the air. It seems powerful, but then it disappears without a trace. How many celebrities have we seen rise to glory, only to end their lives in misery, depression, or scandal? How many influencers are admired online while behind the screen they are drowning in loneliness and anxiety? Fame does not heal hearts, it often breaks them. But brothers and sisters, the pleasure of Allah is not fragile. It does not depend on people's moods, it does not fade with the trends, it is not cancelled by critics. When Allah is pleased with you, His pleasure is lasting, His acceptance is eternal. He does not turn His back on you because of gossip. He does not withdraw His love because of a mistake. His mercy is greater than any applause this world can give you. His love is more enduring than any recognition you could ever chase. So ask yourself sincerely, Do I want the temporary rush of being liked by people, or the eternal peace of being loved by Allah? Do I want hearts that change, or the one who never changes? Do I want applause that dies out, or acceptance that never fades? Brothers and sisters, this is not a small question. It is the question that defines the direction of your life. When you live for people's approval, you will always be restless. You will always be chasing the next post, the next view, the next compliment. And no matter how much you get, it will never be enough, because people are never satisfied and their attention is never permanent. They love you today, they ignore you tomorrow, they criticize you the day after. If your heart is tied to them, then your heart will break every single day. But when you live for Allah's approval, you are free. You no longer need to perform for the crowd. You no longer need to compromise your values for attention. You no longer need to measure yourself by numbers, because you know the only number that matters is the weight of your deeds in the sight of Allah. Fame, my brothers and sisters, is like a mirage in the desert. From a distance it looks like water. You think if only you can reach it, you will quench your thirst. But when you finally arrive, there is nothing there. You are left even more thirsty than before. That is why so many who chase fame are miserable. They thought it would satisfy them, but it only left them empty, and then they have to chase more, post more, perform more, until their souls are exhausted. Contrast that with the contentment that comes from seeking Allah. When you do something sincerely for His sake, even if no one else notices, your heart feels at peace. You smile knowing that your Lord saw it, that He valued it, that He will reward it. Even if the whole world ignores you, He knows you. And that knowledge is enough to give you strength, dignity, and comfort. Brothers and sisters, remember this truth. The applause of people can lift you for a moment, but the love of Allah can carry you forever. The crowd will eventually move on to someone else, but Allah will never abandon you. The trending topics will always change, but Allah's mercy never changes. Fame is fragile, but faith is firm. Popularity is temporary, but sincerity is eternal. So guard your heart from this illusion. Do not let it deceive you into thinking that your value lies in numbers, in recognition, in celebrity. Your true worth is not in how many followers you have, but in how closely you follow the path of Allah. Your real success is not being seen by millions, but being accepted by the One. Your real crown is not likes or trophies, but the light on your face when Allah is pleased with you on the day of judgment. Brothers and sisters, one day we will all stand before Allah, and on that day the fame of this world will mean nothing. The titles, the awards, the claps, they will vanish like dust in the wind. What will remain are your deeds, your sincerity, your faith. And on that day, the one who was unknown to people but beloved to Allah will be far greater than the one who was famous to people but forgotten by Allah. So choose wisely which audience you live for. Let me remind you once more, fame looks beautiful, but it is fragile. Allah's pleasure looks hidden, but it is eternal. Fame makes noise for a moment, then disappears. Allah's acceptance is silent, but it carries you to paradise. So the next time you feel tempted to chase recognition, ask yourself, do I want the fragile applause of the world or the everlasting peace of my Lord? When we hear the word influence today, most of us immediately think of platforms, numbers, likes, followers, and fame. We imagine the person with the biggest audience as the one with the biggest impact, but Islam flips that definition upside down. Influence in the sight of Allah is not about how many people know your name, but how much good you bring to the world, how much sincerity you place in your actions, and how many hearts you touch even if they never speak your name aloud. Think of the mother raising her children in the quiet of her home. No camera records her sacrifices, no audience cheers her on, no followers share her story. She wakes in the night to comfort her child. She works tirelessly to instill values of faith and kindness. She prays for them when no one else hears. The world may never notice her, but in the sight of Allah she is shaping the future of an entire generation. That is real influence. She may never trend on social media, but her sincerity will echo through the lives of her children, and through them, countless others will be touched. Think of the teacher who patiently plants seeds of knowledge in the hearts of students. Years later, those students grow into leaders, thinkers, parents, and guides. They may never mention the teacher's name, but their lives bear the marks of that influence. The world may not applaud, but Allah records every effort, every sacrifice, every moment of sincerity. That quiet service is worth more than the empty applause of millions. Think of the neighbor who quietly helps someone in need, who shares food, who offers a kind word, who eases a burden. No one else may notice, but Allah notices. That small act of kindness could change the course of another person's life. The one who was struggling may find hope. The one who was desperate may find relief. That is true influence. It may be unseen, but it is deeply felt, and it leaves behind a ripple effect of goodness. Brothers and sisters, when we chase worldly influence, we often focus on being seen. We want the recognition, the applause, the validation. But when we chase true influence in the sight of Allah, we focus on being sincere. We focus on serving, not on showing. We focus on impact, not image. And the beautiful truth is that the deeds done sincerely, even if small, carry far more weight than the grandest actions done for show. A smile offered to someone who feels forgotten could be more valuable than a speech delivered to thousands if the smile was sincere and the speech was for fame. The Prophet reminded us that the best of people are those who are most beneficial to others. Notice that it doesn't say the best of people are the most famous, or the most followed, or the most celebrated. The best of people are those who bring benefit. That means the quiet helper, the hidden supporter, the one who gives charity without seeking credit, the one who prays for others in private. These are the people of true influence. The challenge is that we live in a world that makes us forget this. We are bombarded with images of fame and wealth and recognition. We are taught to equate numbers with value, but numbers fade, platforms collapse, audiences move on. What remains forever is the sincerity of your service. Influence is not about the size of your reach. It is about the depth of your impact. A single sincere action can change a life, and a life changed sincerely can inspire countless others. Brothers and sisters, think about this. Most of the people who shaped history in the most profound ways were not celebrities. They were not people chasing attention. They were people of integrity, people of service, people of sacrifice. Their legacies outlived them not because they were seen by millions, but because they lived for Allah and served sincerely. That is why we still mention their names centuries later, not in gossip, but in honor. So let us redefine influence in our own lives. Ask yourself, am I more worried about being seen or about being sincere? Am I more concerned with followers or with faith? Am I seeking the approval of people or the acceptance of Allah? Influence in Islam is measured by sincerity, service, and the barakah that Allah places in your actions. A single sincere act can carry more weight than a lifetime of show. True influence is not always visible. It is hidden in the way you make someone feel valued, in the way you lift someone's burden, in the way you inspire someone to turn back to Allah. You may never know the impact of your deeds, but Allah does. And sometimes the smallest action in your eyes can be the greatest in His. So, brothers and sisters, stop chasing the illusion of being seen. Stop comparing yourself to celebrities and influencers. You do not need a platform to matter. You do not need followers to have value. What you need is sincerity, faith, and the intention to serve. Influence is not about numbers. It is about barakah, and barakah comes not from chasing people's attention, but from seeking Allah's acceptance. Live your life with the intention of being a source of good, even if no one notices. Give charity without expecting thanks. Teach without expecting recognition. Serve without needing applause. Love without demanding credit. Do it all for Allah, and He will place barakah in your actions that will outlive you. That is the kind of influence worth seeking. At the end of the day, brothers and sisters, the question is not how many people know your name. It is how many people were guided, comforted, or uplifted because of your sincerity. On the day of judgment, Allah will not ask you how many followers you had. He will ask you what you did with the blessings He gave you, how you served, how you stayed sincere. And on that day, the hidden servant may be raised above the celebrated celebrity, because sincerity weighs more than recognition, and quiet service shines brighter than loud performance. So let us seek influence not in the fragile world of likes and trends, but in the eternal world of sincerity and service. Let us remember that the smallest act done for Allah is greater than the largest performance done for people. And let us live our lives not to be seen, but to be sincere, so that long after we are gone, the Barakah of our deeds continues to touch hearts, and Allah continues to raise our rank.